Eric Ezu Neshech, DAF IN Dalit, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Devara Bas Chaya Rivka. The Gemara begins with an assigned agent to purchase wine during the vintage season. The hire is stipulated that if he does not fulfill his agency, he has to reimburse him with other wine. Number one, Rav Chama held he has to reimburse him even at the end season high price. Meimar qualified this as holding true only if the hire did not order a specific wine. The seller may not have or want to sell the agent the wine he ordered. Number two, Rav Ashi held even stam yayin, the agent is not liable because asmachta lo kanya. A verbal agreement by the agent is not binding because it depends on the seller. In the case of a sharecropper who defaults on an obligation, he is liable. The Gemara discusses the law concerning one who is an agent to purchase for other people merchandise. If he purchased only enough for one, if all their money was together, they divided in thirds. If their money was bound by the agent separately, all goes to the one whose money was used. The Gemara discusses the law concerning one who stamped his seal on a barrel of wine for purchase. Retailers would inspect barrels and mark those they intended to buy. The halacha is that one who reneges after stamping his seal is liable to a mishapara unless the minhag of the place is that it is binding. The principle of si tumta applies to anything that the custom is to accept as legally binding. According to some achrayim, it is binding from the Torah. The Gemara now discusses entering a forward contract with the purchase of raw materials as defining yeshlo before there is a prevailing market price. Rav holds if 3 parts of the processing remain, they cannot enter into a contract. Shmuel holds that it does not matter how many steps are left in processing as long as it is bidei adam v'lo bidei shamayim, in other words, under human control. The determination of how many steps are involved only depends on the seller. Anything that the buyer is required to do does not count in the processing. The Gemara now discusses potter's clay balls. Rabbi Meir holds that they have to be formed even with the prevailing market price because they are not readily available. Rabbi Yossi distinguishes between white clay and dark clay used to make the potter balls. Dark clay is available. If, however, dark clay is not available, then the law is the same as white, as was the case in Amemar's locale. Concerning manure, there is a 3-way machlokus. According to the Tanakama, it is always available. They can contract even when not in possession of the seller. According to Rabbi Yossi, it is not a commodity that people generally sell. Therefore, they can contract only if the seller has it in his possession. The Chachamim distinguish between summer and winter. In the summer, it is available, not so in the winter. The Mishnah brought a machlokus of the Tanakama and Rabbi Yehuda if the buyer has to stipulate to get the best price from the seller in the event the price goes down. The Gemara questions why the buyer, without stipulating, would have to take the price at the time of the contract, since he only paid at most ein konos. Money does not acquire. The Gemara answered the concern is only for a mishapara. However, the Gemara suggests the Mishnah could be Rabbi Shimon, who holds most konos, but the Chachamim would disagree and hold that it is understood that the buyer intended to get the best price, whether he stipulated or not. The Gemara answers that even according to Rabbi Shimon, that holds Mos Harkonis Midoraisa, only if the price of the items are stable. But if the price fluctuates, even he holds there is only a mishapara if the buyer paid.